What if Family Guy characters were Elite Four members? In our last video, we gave characters like Peter, Lois, and Meg full-on gym teams. But now you've beaten the 8 gym leaders and it's time to go on to the Elite Four. Let's meet them. Our first Elite Four member is Joe. Joe is a rock type. He has gone through a lot in life and still stayed sturdy as a rock. And have you seen those muscles? Yeah. His first Pokemon is a Lycanroc. He's a cop, and cops are known to have dogs with them. Maybe not Lycanrocs, but in the Pokemon universe, sure, why not? In Season 10, Episode 9, Joe tells Peter that back in the day, he made a music video where he dressed up in drag. With that long hair, he's kind of giving Cradley vibes. Slay Joe. Joe also has a Diancie. It represents the love of his life, Bonnie, who has a similar color scheme to Diancie. Bonnie noticeably doesn't have a wedding ring. Joe, what's that all about? Get your wife a wedding ring, a Diancie wedding ring. And for his ace Pokemon, he has a Terrakion. It's giving strong, confident Joe Swanson vibes. It's also a fighting type, which Joe has shown he is a great fighter. Our next Elite Four member is Cleveland. Cleveland's most famous scene in all of Family Guy is when his house collapses while he's in the bathtub. With his ace Pokemon Blastoise, his tub will always be full and protected from Peter's antics. I also feel a water type perfectly represents Cleveland's personality. He's calm, he's cool, he's kind, it's giving water vibes. In the iconic post-apocalyptic episode Da Boom, Cleveland and Quagmire become mutated into one character. With Quagmire's head coming out of Cleveland's body, it's giving big Slowbro vibes. One day, Cleveland found that his wife, Loretta, cheated on him with his best friend Quagmire. So Cleveland went and grabbed his bat to get some revenge. But I don't think a bat is enough. I think Cleveland needs a Dracovish to use Vicious Rend on Quagmire. Quagmire did was messed up. We need revenge. In the Season 2 finale of The Cleveland Show, Cleveland goes to Comic-Con to sell his comic book Waterman, where he becomes a superhero. To help him on his superhero journey, he has a hero mode Palafin, who also rides waves and stops evildoers. Carter Pewterschmidt is our third Elite Four member, and he's our first trainer who doesn't have a specific type, instead a theme. His team is full of Pokemon that rich people would have. To start, he has a Pokemon made out of pure gold, all of the gold that Carter has gotten over the years, a Goldingo. For his second Pokemon, he has a Braviary, which is giving big, rich American bald eagle vibes. Also, in one of the episodes of Family Guy, Carter gave his wife a coat made out of bald eagles. No! His pet Braviary hasn't looked at him the same since. He's like, I gotta get out of here quick. Carter has a gorgeous indoor pool and hot tub where he hangs out with his pet Milotic, which is definitely the water type with the biggest rich person Pokemon vibes. For his final Pokemon, in one episode of Family Guy, it's revealed that Carter secretly has the cure for cancer, but doesn't give it out to the world because he makes too much money from people's medical bills. In the Family Guy Pokemon world, Carter locks the cure in his ace Pokemon, Stakataka. For our final Elite Four member before we get to the champion, we have a reoccurring character that comes into Family Guy to show Peter what's after life. It's death, and his team is inspired by many characters who have died in Family Guy's timeline. The first Pokemon is based off of Diane, the news reporter. There's many scenes where she's very sneaky, evil, and even pulls a gun on Lois. What the heck? It's given trickery. It's giving Banette by her side. The next Pokemon is inspired by Angela. This is Peter Griffin's boss, who is voiced by the amazing Carrie Fisher. Angela is the manager at a brewery, and we don't have a beer Pokemon, but the closest thing we have is Poltegeist, which of course is a tea Pokemon. So maybe they can have fun drinking tea. Poltegeist also has a very fun, whimsical attitude, very playful like Angela. Next we have Bertram. This is the rival of Stewie Griffin, who died kind of earlier in the franchise. Bertram always used a lot of older weapons. He was always fighting Stewie with some type of tool. How about an Aegislash? Next, we have Francis Griffin. Peter's dad, who also died very early in the franchise, is very religious. So how about the god of the afterlife Pokemon, Giratina? This represents death and the afterlife, but also the religious aspects of Francis Griffin. You think you've defeated death, but after you defeated all 4 Pokemon, the literal death Pokemon, Yveltal, comes out, and you have to defeat Yveltal to move on to the next round. After you defeated all 4 Elite Four members, Joe, Cleveland, Carter, and Death, it's now time to face the champion. And who else to be the champion of the Quahog League than a reoccurring character, Jesus Christ. Now, Jesus comes into Peter's life many times to kind of give him a different perspective on life and to teach him some things. In this universe, Jesus' team is inspired by many iconic Family Guy moments. The first is "The Bird is the Word." The song that Peter constantly sings and even sang to Jesus Christ is going to be a regional bird Pokemon. I decided to go with Corviknight. Corviknight is very strong. It's a steel type. Jesus doesn't have any other steel types on the team. Corviknight is a great member. Next, we have that ostrich that's constantly laughing in an audience by itself. We're gonna go with the Spathra. Then we have the running joke of Stewie Griffin constantly calling Cool Whip, so we gave Jesus now Creamy. Then we have Bonnie. Bonnie has famously been pregnant for the first 10 years of the Family Guy timeline, and characters even started to pay attention and be like, are you gonna ever have this kid, Bonnie? So I gave Jesus a Pokemon to represent this, Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan also took over 10 years to have the kid come out of the pouch in a Mega Kangaskhan. So Jesus has the ability to Mega Evolve Kangaskhan into a Mega Kangaskhan. Then we have the Kool-Aid dude who constantly crashes into Family Guy scenes and just bursts through walls. Tell me Iron Bundle doesn't look a lot like the Kool-Aid man. He even has this big jug of water that comes out, and it has the same color scheme. It's giving Iron Bundle for sure. For Jesus' final Pokemon, who else but the god of all Pokemon, Arceus. This team is very strong. Actually, I think it would be one of the strongest champion teams of all time. Do you think you'd be able to beat Jesus? Would Jesus be able to beat Cynthia and Lance? Let me know. After defeating Family Guy Jesus, you've officially became the champion of the Quahog League. Congratulations! Which TV series should I do next? Shout out to all my members: Perry, Scoops, Galactic Games, Dipper Pines, Sydney Arnett, Not Gummies Dragons, Rusty Johnson, Miss Coco, Tyreek Parchment, Nightstorm, and Emerald. Thank you.